येन भूत स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते ताप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हरे कृष्णा। So very special chapter is this, the 15th chapter, one of the smallest in terms of verses, but very compact in terms of the knowledge which the Supreme Lord is revealing in this chapter. And yesterday we discussed the essence, the conclusion, the Vedanta Sutra, which Krishna is revealing in the 3-shloki Gītā. If anyone would like to say something, today we will conclude this chapter. Any query, any question, any inspiration from the 3-shloki? Manish Prabhu has written, others have also written. Pradeep Prabhu has sent me, I could not read Pradeep Prabhu, sorry for that. But definitely tomorrow I'll read it. And a little bit I read of Sonika also. But others, why Pranav, you can write so well, you are gifted. Why don't you want to sharpen your skill of writing and sharing? Busy? In Saturday class, you wrote such a nice write-up. It was so inspiring. And after Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today, 5 days gone. Why not? You write. If you will write, then you will, what you will do, you will penetrate. This knowledge will penetrate through the layers and layers of coverings of material desires that we have. Dipankar, you are back? You have returned?
Prabhuji, I'm just returning, Prabhuji. Today night I'll be.
You are on the way?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Why did you select such a flight? Yeah, you will come at midnight. It is very cold.
Prabhuji, it was not available.
For travel, for business, even for other matters, we do so much of austerity. But for Krishna, very few are willing to do any austerity. For self-improvement, very few. Okay. Yes, Sonika. Boliye.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in slok number 17, it was mentioned Lokatrayam, something like means
Yeah.
it is telling means mentioning about 3 loka. What
Yeah.
what are 3 lokas, Prabhuji?
Very good. Very good. The material existence have 3 levels or 3 lokas. Bhu Bhuvar Swaha. Have you heard that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very famous is the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayam. So Bhu Loka, Bhu Mandala is this earth, earthly planet, which is in the middle. And then there are 7 planets which are below the earthly planets. They're called the these planets are from Atal, Vital, Sutal, and up to Patal. 7 planets. I'll show you the diagram 1 minute. I'll find out. And similarly, there are 7 planets which are above the earth, which are called the heavenly planets, right from Swargaloka till Brahmaloka. So what here Krishna is saying, Uttama Purushastu Anya. So he's talking about Dvaima. Loke means Purusha Loke. Within the material creation, with this material universe, there are 14 planetary systems. We've heard so many times. There are 14 planetary systems. How 14? As I said, 7 above and 7 below. So 14 planetary system. So in this 14 planetary system, there are 8,400,000 species of life. So many times our people challenge that, where is 8,400,000? It is not within this universe Earth only. It is within the 14 planetary systems. So anyway, so Krishna is saying that so in this 14 planetary system, there are 2 types of living entities. Fallen, and those who are infallible. So in the 14 planetary system, everyone is in fallen here. But Akshara means those who are in the spiritual world. Prabhupada writes that. And in the 17th verse, Krishna is saying that beyond fallen and infallible, there is another. This is second person. Who is that? That is Uttama Purushastu Anya. And who is the Paramatmeti Utartha? And what is the feature of Paramatma? Ya Loko Trayam Avishya. Avishya means to enter. What is written here? Avishya is entering. Yeah. So he enters where? Into each planet. And within the planet, he enters into each planet. And he is maintaining it. So that is the Paramatma feature. So there are 14 planetary systems. So the super soul is there, everyone. He is there within the atom of each and every atom, within the heart of each and every living entity. You have seen that map, that chart. Once we had taken a class. Devotees also. Manish Prabhu, can you pull up that Golok chart? Do you know the Golok chart?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm finding it, Prabhuji.
I think you did the presentation in the 15th chapter for this. You remember? Who did that? You were there or Rahul did it? He showed that
Yes,
chart.
yes, Prabhuji, I think our team was there. So I'll search it, Prabhuji. I'll search
Okay. So show the chart. Oh, I missed it. This time I didn't allow you to do any presentation. I continued. Next chapter, don't worry. There are still further chapters to come. Okay, till the time Manish Prabhu is searching. Any other question or query or clarification?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm having.
Okay, go ahead.
Prabhuji, as you told that this is, you have explained that it is 14 planetary system. So Earth is also included in that. No? So 7 above and 7 below.
That is a classic question. That is a classic question. Let me see. Let us open the chart and see. This question comes to my mind also. Then it should be 15. Why 14?
Yes, Prabhuji. I am having the chat, but I have not joined from laptop, so it will take.
So you tell me which site? Manish will open it up.
Actually, I have saved that image, Prabhuji, so I'm having that image, and in that image, it is Satyalok, Taplok, Janalok, Maharlok, Swarglok, and Bhulok. 6 lokas are there above, and then Bhulok, and downside it is
6 lokas are above.
Yes, Prabhuji.
If you say 6, the 7th is the earth. Okay, yeah, Manish is there. Okay. So Satyalok, then Tapalok, Janalok, Maharlok, Swarglok, and Bhuvarlok. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then the earthly planet is the 7th, and we have 7 down below. Does this solve the query?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No,
I was confused. Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
I was just confused about the 3 lokas only, the term 3 loka.
3 lokas are this: the middle planetary system, the higher, and the lower.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And
Prabhuji,
total is 14. Total is 14. Here it is said, Vedic cosmology and the Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, description of the 14 planetary system in the Bhumandala universe and explaining the movement of time within the fabric of space in the material universe. Yeah. Thank you, Manish. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, I was having one more query.
Oh, please. Go ahead. It shows inquisitiveness is a sign of one who is gaining knowledge. Go ahead.
Prabhuji, as you told that Vismriti means Aponam and means and that is not coming from Krishna. It is due to our material modes. But in 15th sloka, it has been written that Mata Smriti Jnanam Aponam means it is coming
Typical.
from you.
Yeah. We want to level Krishna. Okay. I will share with you one conversation of Prabhupada. Let's begin the class with that only. 1 minute. Prabhupada will answer. The screen is visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll start by your query. Prabhupada will answer it. Okay. Read, Sonika.
Mata Smritir Jnanam Aponam. Jai Tirtha. Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Tirtha is Prabhupada's disciple. Okay. So he's asking this question.
Srila Prabhupada, you mentioned the principle of intuition. Yeah. Principle of intuition, that this is coming from Krishna. There is another principle called conscience, which means the feeling that something is right and something is wrong. Prabhupada, yes, that is from Krishna. Everything matah, from me, everything is coming.
This is your question, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Go ahead.
Adi Sekhara. We can see that someone will take a book and someone will not take a book. So, does Krishna give beneficial instruction to someone and not to someone else? Intuition in the heart to take or not to take the book. Prabhupada. Yes, if one has to suffer more, Krishna says, no, Krishna says, no, now you enjoy. Why you read that? Better go to the restaurant and spend money for that. And through me, one is forgetting and one is remembering. So why Krishna is doing like that? He is helping somebody to forget, and he is helping somebody to remember. Why?
Exactly. This is your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Don't worry. No.
The same answer. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. If you want to forget Krishna or God, he will give you intelligence in such a way that you will forget forever. There will be no chance to come to the presence of
Yeah.
God. But it is the devotees of Krishna. They are very compassionate. Krishna is very strict. If anyone wants to forget him, he will give him so many chances that he will never be able to understand what is Krishna. But Krishna's devotees are more compassionate than Krishna. Therefore, they preach Krishna consciousness or God consciousness to the poor people.
Something else is there? I cannot see the screen.
Only San Francisco in 1969 is.
Okay. So based on our actions, our desires, Krishna reciprocates. If our actions and our desires are to lord it over this material creation, to become the enjoyer, to become the controller, so Krishna, he will not allow us to remember him. As we desire and as we act, accordingly Krishna reciprocates. So how we can label him? Like the police is there. The police does, he protects. But if someone does something mischief or wrong, so that punishes also. So it will depend on our actions, and actions are fueled by our desires. The most important thing what we can do at the condition level, we can change our desires. And as we change our desires, we change our subtle body. We change our thinking, feeling, and willing. Very important. As the subtle body, how does the soul transmigrate? Through the subtle body, mainly the mind. If the mind gets different desires, it changes its conception, mind becomes spiritualized. Then there is no transmigration. The soul is freed from the clutches of the subtle body. It is free. So when one is transmigrating, he will become forgetful. That is because of the modes. So very important is what our aspirations are, what our desires are. And based on our aspirations and our desires, our actions will be. And our actions will determine in which mode we are situated. And when the impact of modes are there, so what the modes will bring? Will they bring the remembrance of the Supreme Lord? No. Particularly which mode has the most influence? The mode of passion and ignorance. Okay. So does it solve your... We have our conditioned soul is always very eager to find some flaw to label Krishna as very partial. He is responsible for all our suffering. It is because of him that we are suffering. We have
No,
to be very
Prabhuji.
clear. No. Our philosophy has to be very clear. Our conception has to be very crisp. Because we have chosen to be in that particular mode. How? By our actions, by our aspirations. So what we have to change? We have to change the conception. And how the conception can be changed? By coming in association. Hearing, hammering the mind by the process of hearing. Prabhupada was saying, the last verse only we saw. Hearing like hog is not sufficient. So if we are not taking notes, if we are not writing, if we are not showing Krishna that I want to change, how the change will come? So that is what kind of hearing? That is not Shruti. What actually hearing means? Hearing means to live by the principles that we hear. It's aligning our aspirations and actions according to the instructions or directions given. So gradually, from ground level, we have to make some progress. We start 1%, 2%, and that gradually becomes 10%. And with the practice and with purification, it keeps increasing. So Krishna is sending devotees. Krishna is giving us the opportunity to hear from him directly. Krishna is sending his confidential associates who are coming as acharyas, teaching. So how all this is possible? Krishna is giving us his remembrance. But there are others. You invite them, you ask them to come, they are not interested, they deny. So this is their choice. Every individual, that so many times we have discussed, the individuality is never compromised. What it means, individuality? Not only the existence, but also the option to be exercised. Krishna never forces. Then there is no individuality left. There is no coercion that one has to follow or one must follow. No. And what is the most confidential part? That Krishna revealed in the 18th verse. That yasmat sharam atitoham aksharad api chottama. That beyond both fallible, infallible, and even beyond the uttama purusha. That is Puruṣottama. And he is glorified or celebrated in the Vedas. So that is the Puruṣottamayoga. So we are worshipping that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of even the super soul and the spiritual effulgence and all the living entities, whether they are Shara or Akshara. One who has come to this knowledge, one who has come to this realization, what he does? He performs loving devotion service. We were discussing the second chapter. What are the symptoms of one who is situated in transcendence? What are the symptoms? When difficulties come, when trouble comes, how does he respond? What is his mental frame of, what is his mental frame? Dukkheshu anudvigmana, sukheshu vigatspriha. What he considers, it is because of my karma, because of my sinful action, that I should be suffering more. But Krishna is kind. He has minimized my suffering. That is what this chapter is. Huh? This is what Krishna is revealing in this chapter. कर्मानुबंधनी मनुष्य लोके. 1 second. प्रभु मेरी क्लास होती है 7:30 बजे बाद, प्लीज फोन मत करो. You see, I think it is in the 2nd verse. Very systematically, Krishna is progressing. Karmanubandhini manushya loke. 2nd verse, the last line. Adhasya mulani anushantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. So this tree extends everywhere. You cannot find out where all its root is, from where it begins, from where it is going down. And what it does in material existence, any action that we perform, it binds us, grinds us. So if we don't perform devotional service, so what we perform? We perform karma. We have to be forced to transmigrate. That is why Krishna is saying, Yo mam evam asamudha. Because everybody here is a mudha. What did he say in the 7th chapter about mudha? Namam duskritano mudha prapadyante naradhava. But one who has received this knowledge, one who has realized this knowledge, one who is living by this knowledge, he is asamudha. Why? Because his sambandh is established. Janati Puruṣottama. He is in communion, he is in connection. So what he will do? Sarva vid bhajati mam. Every action which he performs is for my pleasure. Bhajan is for Krishna's pleasure. Service, devotional service. Sarva bhavena bharata. And this is the most guhyatamam part. Let's see the next verse. Final verse. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam muktam maya nagha etad buddhva buddhimana syat kritakritascha bharata. So Krishna is saying, what I have revealed to you, my dear Arjuna, in this 3-shloki Gītā, the Vedanta Sutra section. Iti guhyatamam shastram. 9th chapter also Krishna says, guhyatamam. Guhya, guhyatara, and guhyatamam. Guhyatamam means confidential, more confidential, and most confidential. And why Krishna is revealing to Arjuna? Idam uktva maya anagha. Anagha is addressing Arjuna's another name is Anagha. Anagha means who is completely free from sin. And one who understands this, what I have spoken, etad buddhva. Buddhva means to understand. Who has intelligence can only understand. So from buddhi it is coming, buddhva. So he becomes buddhimana syat. So being situated in this knowledge, or one who has accepted this knowledge, he becomes most intelligent, most refined, most purified. And krita kritascha bharata, and whatever he performs is perfect. There is no flaw. That means he is beyond 4 defects. That means he is liberated. This is the most confidential part of Vedic scripture. O sinless one. See the affection of Krishna towards Arjuna. He's saying, Arjuna, you are completely sinless. That is why Krishna chose Arjuna to be spoken to hear Bhagavad Gītā. And it is disclosed now by me. whoever understands this, so Krishna is so merciful. He's saying not only I'm not resisting to you. He says whoever understands this becomes wise. And his endeavors will know perfection. So Krishna is blessing, blessed. Whatever there is, whatever he will perform will be perfect. No flaw. And no scope for any error. Okay, let's go ahead. The Lord clearly explains here that this is the substance of all revealed scripture. What is the substance? May I ask, what is the substance of the revealed scriptures? Yeah, allow some others to speak. Participate. Why only? Yes, Pranav?
Supreme Lord Krishna is Puruṣottama.
Yeah. Puruṣottama means?
Is the Supreme Person.
Meaning? What it means to be the Supreme Person?
He is the Supreme Controller, above all, fallible, infallible, and
he is above all.
Above all.
He is above all. Everyone is below him. One should understand this as it is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See Prabhupada's preaching mission. Prabhupada had only one mission. What is that mission? To establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He says, one should understand this as it is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one will become intelligent. This is what Krishna is saying, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So, the one who is understanding this, accepting them, Krishna will give him both Jnanam and Smriti. And one who is rejecting, how can he get Jnanam and Smriti? So what he will be? He will be in Ajnan and he will be in Vismriti. Is Krishna responsible? And perfect in transcendental knowledge, both. In other words, by understanding this philosophy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in his transcendental service, everyone can become freed from the contamination of the modes of material nature. Sonika, you see this statement? Whatever I have spoken is based on purport of Prabhupada. Clearly. Contamination is coming from where? From the modes. How to be freed? Two aspects. Very, very important. This is the sum and substance. One has to be Krishna conscious. What it means to be Krishna conscious? Accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How? By cultivation of proper knowledge. By study of Shastra. By practice of sadhana bhakti. Accepting the process of purification. So one is freed from the contamination of the modes. And side by side, he is engaging in devotional service. Devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. Please, if one is performed, the other is not, it will not work. Those who do not wish to perform devotional service, no understanding will come. You try to read the books entire life, nothing will get into your head. Even it may go into the head, but it will not enter the heart because Krishna will not allow this knowledge to sink in, to settle in. We see also in our devotional circles that many wants to only do Shastric study. They just want to give class. They want to read and speak. It will just not work. Well, this is a science. So unless one serves, he has the spirit to perform service to the Lord, Krishna will not give the understanding. So devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. Where devotional service exists, material contamination cannot coexist. So to the extent one is in, so many things of what is devotional service will be clarified in this. Prabhupada will clarify what is devotional service. It is not that what we are presuming to be devotional service. What is devotional service precisely? Devotional service to the Lord and the Lord himself are one. Revolutionary. Should I read again? Devotional service to the Lord and the Lord himself are one and the same because they are spiritual. Devotional service takes place within the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. That is, one has to be free from modes. The Lord is said to be the sun and ignorance is called darkness. Where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Krishna has Surya Sam, Maya Andhikar. Jahan Krishna, taha nahi Maya Radhikar. You have seen the Back to Godhead magazine? You should subscribe. Every one of you should subscribe. For many years I have read it. Many issues. And still my father and mother, I, give them. At least if they don't read the Shastra, they'll at least read the Back to Godhead magazine. At least some reading habit is there. Therefore, wherever devotional service is present under the proper guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, this is the first condition. Devotional service means under guidance, under prescription, under authorization. If we select something to do, it is not devotional service. It has to be prescribed. Today I feel like chanting 64 rounds. Very good. Chant. Here clearly. Devotional service is present under the proper guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. There is no question of ignorance. So Prabhupada is appealing. He says, he's opening his heart and he's calling each one of us. Everyone must take to this consciousness of Krishna and engage in devotional service to become intelligent and purified. So one performs devotional service under guidance. Two things will happen. He will be purified, and as he becomes purified, his intelligence will be spiritualized. Then he cannot be allured by the illusionary energy. He cannot be fooled by Maya. Maya cannot come close to him. Unless one comes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages in devotional service, however intelligent he may be. Prabhupada is saying, however intelligent he may be, in estimation of some common man, he is not perfectly intelligent. So that means he is a fool number one. It's very important. Two aspects. So that is why our entire process is to become Krishna conscious. Also to perform devotional service. Prabhupada has given this very powerful process. Both together. If we become Krishna conscious, that is why he has given us this schedule or this process of daily hearing. Not hearing once. In temple life, what temple life? Whatever is life, we should hear twice. Morning, evening, morning, evening. Why? Because we have the tendency to get diverted, to get distracted, to get degraded, to get disengaged from devotional service. So as we hear, as we study, as we share, so what we are doing, we are enhancing, we are strengthening our Krishna consciousness, because what we are discussing, what we are reading, what we are sharing, Krishna is in the center. And also we have practical services to perform. So that is devotional service. So as one performs devotional service, he becomes intelligent. Prabhupada is saying here. The word anaga, by which Arjuna is addressed, is significant. Anaga or sinless one means that unless one is free from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. Today I just met Ravindra Prabhu. He came. Ravindra Prabhu bought the mercy prasad of Jagannath Puri. So he was very kind to come down and give that, share the blessings. So he made a program in his village and he was sharing that he had thought of making everybody chant 4 rounds. Very good, very compassionate. That 150 people will assemble and he will try to make them chant 4 rounds. But see the position. Who can chant? Not everyone can chant. Unless until he is sufficiently anaga, he cannot chant. He cannot perform devotional service. With contamination in the heart, he cannot chant, he cannot perform. But because the devotees have a desire and they are attempting, it will become possible. It can become possible. So unless one is free from sinful reaction, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities, then he can understand. In the 7th chapter, what did Krishna speak? 28th verse. Anyone remembers? 7th chapter, Pradeep Prabhu? Are you revising 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 10th chapter? You told me at one point that you have memorized. But are you revising? Otherwise, it is gone. When you are practicing, Krishna is giving jnanam and smriti. And when you are not, then it is by default apohanam. What is this 28th verse of the 7th chapter without opening the book? Don't remember because we don't practice. Anyone? Dolamani?
It is the meaning is that if one is sinless, then can perform the service with very strictly.
Yeah. Yesham tu ant gatam papam jananan purna karmanam te dvand vimoho vimuktaha. Te dvand moho vinurmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. So this dvanda, the duality that prevails in our heart, which prevails in our mind, is because of sin. That is what the mode does. It bewilders the jiva. Does not allow it to be have any clarity. What is the cause? Is sin, contamination. One has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities, then he can understand. So what to do? We are not at that stage when we are free from all sin, from all contamination. So what is the hope? How can we progress? So Prabhupada is very merciful. He says, but devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. But be very clear what it means to be devotional service. Prabhupada has already clarified what is devotional service. While one is performing devotional service, here comes another bomb. Prabhupada is exploding another bomb here. One of my very, very regularly visited purport. Prabhupada says, while one is performing devotional service in association of pure devotees, association of not ordinary devotees. Today I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture. He was saying there are Shuddha Bhakta and Paddha Bhakta, impure. But here Prabhupada is talking about one is performing devotional service in association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness. There are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of the heart. Even if one can have such an association of pure devotees, and he is in full Krishna consciousness, and he is performing devotional service also. But what he has to do, he has to surmount the weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. This is the weakness of the heart. Shudram Hriday Daurbalyam. Krishna chastised Arjuna. He says Shudram Hriday Daurbalyam. In the second chapter, when he began the discourse. What do you have to do? You have to overcome the weakness of your heart. So the first fall down, Prabhupada is saying, is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. Then one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. So how the fall down happens is when one gives up the service. The second weakness of the heart is that as one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature, he becomes attached to matter and the possessions of matter. The problem of material existence are due to these weakness of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from this weakness of heart. What is the process of freeing oneself from the weakness of this heart? What is the process that was described? Only one hand is up. Everyone has, only few of you are there who are hearing. Oh, second has come up. Ganesh Prabhu, what is the process of freeing oneself from the weakness of the heart?
Prabhuji, I'm not able to recall now.
Not able to recall now. When we are able to recall? When? Kabe habe bolo se din amar. When will that time come that we will be remembering this? Shreya, can you answer?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, we have to be free from pride and we have to be detached. So I couldn't remember.
Asanga shastrena jidena chitva. Asanga, give up the material association. Asanga shastrena. And with the knowledge of weapon, we have to cut the roots. What is the roots? Attachments. Material attachments. What the attachments are? It makes one weak. The weakness of heart is material attachments. What Arjuna was exhibiting? His attachments. Why one is not engaged in devotional service? Why one is not becoming Krishna conscious? Due to material attachments. What Prabhupada is saying. What is material attachment? Attachment means an attempt to lord it over the material nature. Anyone remembers? I discussed that what does attachment means, what Prabhupada is explaining. Donamani, you remember? So many times I have discussed with you. What does attachment means?
Prabhuji, accepting things which for our own sense gratification.
Yes. Attachment means, material attachment means accepting things or persons or possessions for our own sense gratification. The first 5 verses, that is what how it has to be cut. It is to be cut to the sword of knowledge. That is why Prabhupada has given one book, title is Sword of Knowledge, ज्ञान की तलवार. तलवार क्या करेगी? इस बंधन को काट देगी. Describes the process of freeing oneself from the weakness of heart, and the rest of the chapter from 6th verse through the end discusses Puruṣottamayoga. So we discussed how Krishna is the maintainer at all levels, at every stage. If Krishna does not help us or Krishna does not sustain, the living entity cannot exist even for a moment. It requires the help. And then we saw how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is discussing Puruṣottamayoga. So what is so significant about Puruṣottamayoga? What is so significant? What did we get to know in this chapter? Let us conclude. Who will answer? Kiran? Kiran Prabhu, are you hearing?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I joined late, Prabhuji, sorry, but I just heard that weakness of the heart can be overcome by detachment alone. And we are weakness of the heart is due to the material attachments, and we are unable to do service to the Supreme Lord. So we are rebellious. That's what I understood, Prabhuji.
Now, what is so significant about this chapter, Puruṣottamayoga? Yoga of the Supreme Person. So are we now established in Puruṣottamayoga? Sambandha Gyan has been revived. Jnanati Puruṣottama.
Till we are.
Yes. How?
He is the energetic. He is the essence of the fire, essence of the water. So, so as Paramatma, and also
that information was there in the 7th chapter also, bhai. That is nothing new. In 7th chapter, he also said, Rasam Apsu Konteya, Prabha Asmi Shashi Surya. What is new about it?
I don't know.
How to say that we know? And through this chapter, what has become clear? Anyone? What conception has become clear through this chapter? Okay, Sonika, boliye.
Prabhuji, yesterday only you explained that Lord Krishna is the source of Paramatma, Kshara, Akshara, everything, and even Brahma Jyoti also. So, sorry, today also only you revised it.
Yesterday also.
So this established that Lord Krishna is the supreme, the supreme most. So that's this.
But it was the same was there in the 8th chapter also. In the 10th chapter, when in the 8th verse he said, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji. And you told about that Shloki Gītā. There also Krishna established the same thing, that he is the supreme.
Yeah. Okay. So if he is the supreme, then what? So what is our gain or benefit? How we can say that we have, benefited from this chapter or this knowledge that Krishna has revealed? Go ahead. Don't have any hesitation. You are hearing?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, I was muted. Yesterday you have, Prabhuji, told that if someone gain this knowledge, whatever has been told in Three Sloki Gītā or earlier also, then or so someone have this knowledge and realize that knowledge, then he can have the proper intelligence and we should have the faith in Krishna, and we should we should not have any doubt on Krishna. And if we are situated in this knowledge, in this stage, then we can be situated in the devotional services or devotion.
Yes. Yeah. So if one is convinced, see, there are two aspects. One is the information. The information we have. But the second is the conviction. How much conviction we have. Okay, Ganesh, you go ahead. Then I will summarize.
Prabhuji, whatever the Sambandhagan we were not able to understand, we are not so much intelligent. By understanding that sun, moon, and other things are source of Krishna, from him only we are dependent. By understanding this basic concept, we will our Krishna consciousness start to begin. So we can able to establish.
No, there is one missing link in that. It will not be enhanced. It will remain at the level of information. So how it can translate into conviction or realization? I spoke about it. If someone was attentive, I've already discussed that. रविंद्र प्रभु, आपका भी हाथ ऊपर था, बोलना चाहते हैं? बताइए. बोलिए प्रियंका.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I want to say that, Prabhuji, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. The living entity is not.
What is new about it? When you come to Krishna consciousness, from day one we speak this. So how through this chapter things are becoming more clear? But we are getting more convinced. What is that conviction which has any conviction? Be honest. Yes or no? Change will come because of conviction, not because of information. Information we will forget. Manish Prabhu?
Prabhuji, So it is correct, Prabhuji, that whatever has been spoken, so we have to bring it to practice. So means following the instructions properly, Prabhuji, we have to follow. And this hearing and chanting has been given again and again emphasis. So we have to actually change our conception that how Krishna is above and all, every shara, akshara, source of everything. So by hearing, I think, Prabhuji, you have to bring that conviction and faith. That faith we have to develop. Once we develop this faith gradually, then only we'll come to that standard of following exactly, Prabhuji, whatever Krishna is telling. In devotional service also it will start. So this faith we have to develop, Prabhuji, by I think clearing up whatever we have, the misconceptions. So hearing and chanting, Prabhuji, I think.
Okay, good. Yes, Sonika, your hand is up.
Prabhuji, one more concept of transmigration has been talked in this chapter. Yeah. And Krishna has told that if someone is really realized, if someone is realized, he can only understand and see that how transmigration is going and how we are suffering.
Yeah. Vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. But still I want to focus on what I am asking. Dolamani, what is that will, make the conviction go deeper from this chapter?
Whatever the impression what I got is that why we are not performing devotional service. The reason being is that we equate ourselves with the Supreme Lord. The Supreme, we do not understand that He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we equate Him to us. We think that we are unjust, so we do not perform any devotional service. We don't perform devotional service. So the more we become Krishna conscious, the more we know that His position, how He is supreme, and how He's maintaining us, then only we can perform devotional service.
All theory what you people are speaking. There is one very important element which is missing. And actually we miss that in our practice. So we are struggling and we are not able to progress. Yes, Kiran?
Prabhuji, you gave the example of the driver and the owner of the car. So we are actually after happiness unless we serve the Krishna, like that example may able to answer this one.
What is missing? Through this chapter, we came to know that at every level, unless and until we are held by Krishna, we cannot sustain, we cannot exist. At the cosmological level, at the terrestrial level, at the individual level, at the spiritual level. Maintenance. Forget all these things, which we just know in terms of information. But our maintenance is factual. We need to eat to live, or can we live without eating? Can anyone live without eating? Where the grains are coming from, where the fruits, vegetables are coming from, this chapter clearly says it is because of Krishna's energies. It is being provided. Okay, we still don't accept. We have this maniac mind which keeps rejecting everything. Then even if you have, can you live? If you have wheat and rice, can you eat from the farm? No, we need to cook. That force in the fire and electricity is also Krishna. And even if you eat, still you cannot live or sustain, because the nourishment, when it goes inside the belly, that digestion is also given by Krishna. So we independently are completely incapable of doing anything. So what conviction should come? That we should be grateful. What attitude should we have? Of gratitude. But Krishna is so great and yet he is so kind. But he is so much caring for me and providing me all that I require to live in this, even in this material existence, this material life. But to the extent we are convinced, now we can see the hand of Krishna, the helping hand of Krishna, even in our normal existence. And with attitude of gratitude, gradually there will be some desire to reciprocate, to serve him, or to please him, or to repay back to him. Then our progress can begin. Then we can progress. Then we can advance. Otherwise, you speak whatever, you read and write whatever, nothing will change. If someone has some other conception, so please raise some other idea. How much Manish Prabhu is skillful. At 8:55, I stopped the class. 8:56, he sent me his write-up. Amazing. I pray to Krishna that he blesses you. He is able to do both very sharply. Read, hear, and write. Same time. This is very important. To the extent we become grateful, to the extent we become obliged, we can see how Krishna is maintaining. So who is maintaining us? It is our money that we earn. Or our friends and relatives, or our it is only Krishna who is maintaining us. So if we are maintained by Krishna, then what is our duty? Is to serve him, to please him. So 19th verse is also very, very important. Yo mam evam asamudha janati Puruṣottama. So that is Krishna consciousness. Without a doubt, one knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the supreme provider of everything for everyone. Such a person sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. To the extent we are accepting Krishna's hand in our life, we have to just hold his hand. And he'll release us from this material existence. I found that verse. Yeah, it was saying in the 19th verse that now in this verse, you see the third line, the 19th purport. Now in this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead clearly explains that anyone who knows Lord Krishna to be the Supreme Person is actually the knower of everything. That verse is from the Mundaka Upanishad, which says, Yasmin Vigyate. One who knows Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vigyate means to know. And who knows whom? Krishna. Sarvam evam vignatam bhavati. So then everything else is known. There is nothing else to be known. So there is nothing else remaining that is unknown. That is to be known. Very important. We will only be able to progress if we have that attitude of gratitude. And what it means to be having the attitude of gratitude? To be able to serve. Service means servitude. I'm not the master, I'm not the enjoyer. Ekla Krishna, Ishvara or Sabhritya. This is what this chapter is speaking. Establishing that Krishna is the Supreme Person and everyone else is subordinate. And he is the one who is maintaining and sustaining everyone. We saw that verse Prabhupada quoted. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Yo Eko Bahunam Vidadhati Kama. And he is the one who is supplying and fulfilling the desires and needs of everyone. This is Puruṣottamayoga. Okay, I'll stop now. If there is any further discussion or question, one can ask. For 2 days, I won't be able to take class because of engagement. That is Saturday and Sunday and maybe one more day. I'll inform you. But my request is, please try to grasp the subject matter. Writing is very much required. You see, Sonika, she is sharing her daily notes also. Very good. Make a start. Here there is no awards. You are not in competition to show how better or how good I can write. No. Okay, so I'll end here. I don't see anyone further inquiring. A very, very powerful chapter. So this chapter, Krishna is revealing how he is maintaining anyone and everyone. And of course, as you all said, is Puruṣottama. So at least what we can see or what we can relate or what we can connect is the maintenance part. Then Krishna says that through this knowledge, one can be freed from this entanglement of the modes. Okay. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad. Because of you, I also get the opportunity to do my study. It's a study group. Not a class actually, it's a study group. We all are together studying and we all have the opportunity to gain wisdom and knowledge through Srila Prabhupada and Krishna's verses. Hare Krishna. So, final concluding days of Bhagavad Gītā. Those who have something left, so please try to wrap up, finish off. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tata Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.